Luna's face scrunched up like a buggy under a pickup. So he'll be grateful enough to teach you some trick? Her tone was dry and mocking. Padding your thoughts and whatnot? Pretty much. And if we go in there Godzilla style, either he won't be in enough trouble or he'll get killed. So wouldn't it be better to stake out the Imperial throne room? Had to see my daughters. Had to see you. You've seen them. Zack tapped his foot and said, The earthquake? Luna straightened Zack's tie, tinkering with the eldridge knot. Stop being a penis. Excuse me? Being of the stronger sex myself, Luna winked. I can see that you're penis-footing around. Fine. But you do know that expression's about cats, right? Cat-footing doesn't work. Just sounds weird. Penis. Now that's a good word. Luna's leer made his heart skip a beat. Anyway, are you fit to drive? If I can get a car without alerting Yuki. Icy spider legs crawled down Zack's back, hairy limbs tickling his spine. Felt like that at least. Spirit is witness. Spider sucked. Yuki'd kill me if she knew I'd returned and didn't stay to resume command of her talented forces. She would, but I understand the need. Luna held out the smartphone. Take my spare phone. Take my spare phone, and I'll distract Yuki. You do that? Despite how pissed she'll be at you? Zack accepted the smartphone and stuck it into his jacket pocket next to a half-eaten bar of chocolate. Just promise you'll return this time, no matter the outcome of your mission. As long as I'm not a threat to you or my daughters. I promise. Mean it? I do. Then stop penis-footing around and go save that bastard. Luna urged him towards his office, forcing him to backpedal. She reached around him and opened the door. With the door framed between them, Zack in his office and Luna in the playroom. He leaned over the threshold to hug her goodbye. I could fall in love with you. You always say that when I win the argument. Luna pulled away from the hug and kissed him on the cheek. Good luck. Thanks. Zack turned away from her and took a few steps. He glanced back at the playroom, admiring his daughters, their grins, bouncing enthusiasm. They were perfect. He met Luna's gaze. If anything happens, take care of him. When she nodded, he walked out of his office, one less weight off his chest. One less weight on his chest. From the hallway, he heard Luna screaming for someone to hurry to the playroom. Probably Miyuki. Which meant Zack didn't have much time to make it to the parking garage, and he couldn't use the elevators. Zack sprinted the stairwell, taking his steps 3 at a time. He was thankful his workout regimen had been so intense to keep his mind off losing Natsumi and Keiko. But damn, stairs blew chunks. At the bottom of the stairwell sent a burn oil greased air in the parking garage full of black and white cars. Zack hurried over to the gray car in the parking garage. Alexis parked between the stairwell and the elevators. As usual for the front company-owned cars, the keys hung in the ignition. Zack waved at the security cam Yuki always kept tabs on and climbed into the Lexus and cranked it up. I could really fall in love with you, Luna. He put the Lexus into drive and scraped past a pair of cars on the way out. Driving sucked. Loud Japanese metal made the trip short and smooth. Other than the time or 6 he ran up on the sidewalk when he had gotten into a song. Past Tokyo Station, the aluminum Imperial Palace came into view. 10-foot sections of stone walls framed the Shinkashita Gate, which had several wood carvings of demons and ogres. Work of art, save for the gaping hole in the center. How long had the U.S. military been there? Palm sweating, Zack stopped the car a few feet in front of the gate, clambering out the passenger's door. He didn't trust the driver's door not to scream after visiting the sidewalk so many times. He didn't want to go back in there. Stop penis-footing around, he told himself, adopting Luna's expression. Thinking about his armor, he encased his body in the near-invisible protection, then crept up to the Shinkashita Gate. and stuck his head through the hole. The air inside the gate tasted like soot and burning hair. With the sun halfway to noon, humidity used his sweat to glue his suit to his skin. Pigeons cooed from the bonsai pines and sakura trees that lined the wall. Nothing moved. Zack scurried through the hole towards the Imperial Palace. Jade roof tiles, as expansive as a football field and well over 14 stories tall. Though, from what he remembered, there were only 7 floors, including the top 2 floors that were split into 3 tower-like sections, which only his spirit allowed him to see. As Zack squinted, the Imperial Palace looked like the giant monster King Ghidorah from the Godzilla movie with the same name. Zack cracked open the servant's door and peeked inside. Cool AC licked his face, much stronger than his office buildings. Unfair. Silence pecked at his ears. Still, nothing moved. This quiet couldn't be good. He eased the door shut behind him and rushed down the carpeted hallway, avoiding patches of hardwoods or tiles any time he crossed them. He didn't want his sound of his footfalls taken ahead of him. Scrollwork blended with paintings. Thuds and explosions rattled the walls from somewhere above. The smell of gunpowder. Voices came from around the corner along the first hallway to intersect with this one. Zack skidded to a halt. He inched up to the corner and peered around the edge. With green and blue camo uniforms, 2 bulky Americans, hook nose and blue eyes, held a set of double doors open. Both men held their guns at attention as they glanced back into the hallway every so often. U.S. military. Stealing his breath, Zack crouched and prepared to dart across the intersection as soon as the 2 soldiers scanned the hallway again. Behind the first 2 soldiers, there were 2 more, both women, both with bigger guns. Past the women, the bald soldier leaned over speaking to someone. It wasn't important to know who he was speaking to or about what, but Zack edged farther around the corner to check, just in case. Could be vital later. Restrained by a hulking soldier with a massive forehead, a junior high school boy jerked left and right. The tears in his black button-up school uniform expanded with each motion. Beside him stood a little girl, maybe 10 years old, held by a twig of a soldier, though, unlike the boy, she didn't fight back. Why would the U.S. military capture kids? Gut clenching, Zack glanced between the stairs ahead of him and the room of soldiers. Even if they're pissed about the treaty I broke, they shouldn't hurt the kids. The bald soldier slapped the boy. And again, standing up straight, the bald soldier cocked his fist back, golden knots of rank catching the light. But, Zack swallowed, if I start a fight here, I might not be able to make it to the Emperor in time. No, if I catch him by surprise, I can keep it quiet. He crept around the corner towards the soldiers. Some pop song murmured from Zack's pocket, growing in volume. Luna's phone? He froze in place, scrambling to pull it out before it got too loud. The 4 soldiers close to the door spun to face Zack, guns pointed in his direction. The bald soldier lowered his fist and glanced at Zack, looking as if he had bitten into a lemon. Shit. Zack groaned as the first gunshot rang out and took him right in the smartphone. Sparks sprayed into the air along with yet another phone's guts. Luna's going to kill me.